There's a surprising truth about over 85% of heart attacks and strokes. The main cause is not cholesterol plaque or calcium slowly building up in your arteries, as many people still believe. In reality, most people who die from a heart attack or stroke don't die because of long-term blockage. They die from a sudden blood clot that forms inside the artery, often within seconds. This is very different from the idea of arteries slowly clogging up over the years. If someone tells you that death comes from cholesterol blocking your blood vessels, you should know that's not the whole story. The real killer is often the blood clot, the silent attacker that can strike without warning. Today, what we need to understand is what blood clots really are and how we can prevent them. Here's the interesting part. Blood clots are actually part of your body's natural healing system. When a blood vessel is injured or torn, your body forms a clot to seal the damage. Once the repair is done, the clot normally dissolves. The danger begins when tiny internal injuries inside your artery walls don't heal properly, or when clotting gets out of control. That's when a blood clot turns from a helpful response into a deadly threat. So how do you recognize the early warning signs? If a blood clot forms in your arms or legs, a condition called deep vein thrombosis or DVT, you might notice swelling in one limb, a heavy or cramping pain, warmth, redness, or even a bluish discoloration in the affected area. If a clot travels to the lungs, pulmonary embolism, or PE, this is a medical emergency. Look for these signs. Sudden, unexplained shortness of breath. Sharp chest pain. Worse when breathing deeply or coughing. Coughing up blood. And rapid or irregular heartbeat. A dizziness or feeling like you might pass out. If a clot blocks a vessel in the heart, causing a heart attack. You may feel pressure or tightness in your chest, like something heavy is sitting on it. The pain may spread to your left arm, shoulder, neck, back, or jaw. You might also experience shortness of breath, cold sweats, nausea, or extreme fatigue. If a clot travels to the brain stroke, remember the FAST rule. Face is one side of the face drooping? Is their smile uneven? Arms. Is one arm weak or numb? Can they raise both arms? Speech. Is their speech slurred, confused, or hard to understand? Time. If you notice any of these signs, call 911 immediately. And don't forget, the biggest trigger for a blood clot usually isn't cholesterol or calcium buildup. There's a far more silent and dangerous culprit, and that's what we'll uncover in the next section. Let's start with what most people already know: smoking. When you smoke, toxic chemicals in cigarette smoke come into direct contact with your blood vessels. This causes inflammation, which opens the door for dangerous blood clots to form. But it's not just cigarettes. Air pollution and regular exposure to environmental toxins can also trigger similar inflammation inside your arteries. And let's be clear, vaping is not a safe alternative. There's no substitute for quitting completely. Alcohol is another serious trigger. While you might hear that a little red wine is good for the heart, drinking too much is a different story. Alcohol can damage your liver and, once in the bloodstream, irritate artery walls, raising your risk of clot formation. Here's something that might surprise you: birth control pills and hormone replacement therapy. HRT can alter hormone levels and increase the risk of blood clots. Strokes and heart attacks, especially in women over 40. Then there's emotional stress. It might sound strange, but there's actually a condition called broken heart syndrome, where someone who loses a loved one may face a 2,000% increased risk of heart attack in a short time. Extreme emotional stress can trigger the body's clotting system, putting your heart and brain in danger. And it's not just mental stress. Physical stress can also raise the risk. Major surgery, for example, places significant strain on the body. Even intense exercise like running a marathon can overload the cardiovascular system and trigger clots in vulnerable individuals. Then there's refined carbohydrates, white bread, sugar-processed cereals. These foods fuel inflammation throughout your blood vessels. That's why people with diabetes are 4 to 5 times more likely to develop blood clots, not just in the heart, but also in the brain. Finally, infections are a hidden danger most people don't think about. Something as simple as an untreated dental infection, like an abscess from a failed root canal, can allow bacteria to leak into the bloodstream. Other chronic infections you may not even know you have can silently raise your clotting risk over time. For most people, I believe the real root cause of dangerous blood clots lies in high blood sugar, something that comes directly from everyday eating habits. When your blood sugar stays elevated over time, your blood becomes thicker and stickier, raising the risk of clot formation. But it doesn't stop there. Sugar also drives chronic inflammation, and inflammation is one of the leading triggers behind blood clot development. There's another important factor many people overlook: excess calcium in the blood vessels. Let me explain. Some studies have shown that postmenopausal women who take high doses of calcium supplements for bone health may face a higher risk of blood clots. That's because calcium is involved in over 15 different steps in the clotting process. The key point here is excess calcium, not the calcium your body truly needs. When there's too much calcium, can end up in the wrong places, hardening soft tissues, especially inside artery walls, raising your risk for atherosclerosis and stroke. So, what's the number one solution? Vitamin K2. K2's main role is to act like a traffic cop for calcium, directing it to where it belongs. Instead of allowing calcium to settle into your blood vessels or soft tissues, K2 helps move calcium into your bones and teeth where it's actually needed. In simple terms, vitamin K2 keeps your arteries clean and flexible. Where do you find vitamin K2? It's abundant in fermented foods like natto, a traditional Japanese fermented soybean dish, pasture-raised egg yolks, butter from grass-fed cows, and organ meats like liver, nutrient-rich foods that often get a bad rap for containing fat or cholesterol. But in reality, these are some of the best natural sources of vitamin K2. One more critical point: vitamin D and vitamin K2 work together as a team. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium efficiently, while K2 ensures that calcium gets delivered to the right places. Plus, vitamin D is also a powerful anti-inflammatory, helping protect your blood vessel lining from microscopic injuries that can lead to clot formation. Next up is magnesium, a vital mineral that acts like a calcium gatekeeper. It helps prevent calcium from going where it shouldn't, like inside your cells or soft tissues, including the walls of your arteries. Magnesium also helps relax blood vessels, promotes healthy circulation, and plays a key role in preventing heart rhythm problems, especially atrial fibrillation, AFib. AFib is an irregular heartbeat that can cause blood to pool in the heart and significantly increase the risk of blood clots. So what else can help lower your risk of developing dangerous clots? One key factor is nitric oxide, a remarkable molecule your body makes naturally. It relaxes blood vessels, improves blood flow, and prevents platelets from sticking together, reducing clot risk. How can you naturally boost nitric oxide? Vitamin D. Yes, vitamin D. Again, it supports nitric oxide production and keeps blood vessels healthy. Shut L-arginine. This important amino acid is the raw material your body uses to make nitric oxide. You can get it from grass-fed, red meat poultry fish, and organ meats like liver foods, often misunderstood as unhealthy, but actually very nutritious when eaten in moderation. Sunlight. Getting some sun doesn't just help your body make vitamin D. It also stimulates nitric oxide production right in the blood vessel walls. Reasonable sun exposure, not overdoing it, is actually great for your heart and blood vessels. We shouldn't be afraid of sunlight just because of old warnings from the 1980s about skin cancer. Gentle, regular sun exposure is a natural way to care for your cardiovascular health. There are also other natural allies that help protect against clots. Polyphenols, powerful antioxidants found in green tea. Fresh herbs and brightly colored fruits and vegetables. Vitamin C helps strengthen blood vessel walls and maintain healthy circulation. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel herring, as well as flax seeds. Chia seeds and walnuts, they naturally thin the blood and reduce the risk of clot formation. Vitamin E, a strong antioxidant that protects cells and helps lower clot risk. You'll find it in sunflower seeds, almonds, whole grains, and unrefined plant oils. Lastly, let's talk about vitamin K1, which is different from K2. It's found in dark leafy greens like spinach and kale. Some people worry that eating too much K1 might thicken the blood, but that's a misunderstanding. Vitamin K1 is essential for balanced blood clotting. It doesn't cause excessive clotting. It simply helps your blood clot at the right time, like when you get a small cut. Intermittent fasting is a surprisingly effective way to reduce your risk of blood clots. When done properly, fasting gives your body time to clean house at the cellular level, reducing inflammation and naturally improving heart health markers. Similarly, a ketogenic diet, a very low-carb way of eating, has been shown to reduce inflammation in blood vessel walls, which in turn lowers the risk of clot formation. Another simple but powerful factor: staying well hydrated. Water helps keep your blood thinner and flowing smoothly. When you're dehydrated, blood tends to become thicker and sluggish, increasing the risk of clots, especially in older adults. Regular physical activity is also essential. This doesn't mean running miles every day. Even light, consistent movement, like brisk walking, swimming, or gentle biking, combined with proper rest, can make a huge difference. Exercise improves circulation and helps prevent blood from pooling in the legs, a major cause of clots in seniors. As for food, garlic and onions are natural anti-clotting superfoods. Garlic contains allicin, a compound that helps prevent platelets from sticking together. Ginger and turmeric curcumin are powerful anti-inflammatory and anti-clot agents. Cinnamon and cayenne pepper are also great for improving blood flow. If you're considering supplements, there are 3 standout natural enzymes worth knowing. Nattokinase, extracted from fermented soybeans. Natto helps break down existing clots. Serrapeptase, an enzyme from silkworms, reduces inflammation and dissolves fibrin, a protein involved in clot formation. Bromelain, found in pineapple, reduces inflammation and supports healthy circulation. However, these enzymes should only be used if you truly have clotting concerns, and always consult your doctor first. They work best when taken on an empty stomach, so they can directly act on clotting factors in the bloodstream. These natural tools aren't widely promoted by big pharmaceutical companies, mainly because they're not profitable, but they can be incredibly effective for those who need them. Now that you understand the real underlying causes behind most heart attacks and strokes, you have the power to take control. Apply what you've learned because